everyone, welcome to JustFeg Network TV, a place where you can get the latest information on things happening around the world, and you are in the right place. Please click the red subscribe button and also press the bell icon next to it so you can be notified for an update on any published news. Buhari government moves to avert Nigerian shutdown, makes Labour new offer. To avert a nationwide industrial action by the organized labor, the federal government yesterday made a new offer to the workers by shifting ground on its proposal for minimum wage consequential adjustment from 11% to 17% for workers on grade level 7 to 14, and from 6.5% to 12% for those on grade level 15 to 17. This new offer followed protracted negotiations between the workers and the government team. However, the workers who had insisted on 29% wage increase for workers on grade level 7 to 14 and 24% for those on grade level 15 to 17 did not immediately accept the new offer. The union also last night shifted ground from 29% to 25% for level 7 to 17 and from 24% to 20% for level 15 to 17. The labor union had threatened to embark on strike from today following the deadlock on talks with the federal government on consequential adjustment of the minimum wage. Addressing journalists at the end of the 6 hours of talks yesterday, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, said the meeting had been adjourned till today to enable both sides to address contentious areas. He said the discussion was friendly, adding that there was no fight. The federal government delegation was led by the head of service, Folashade Yemi-Esan, who also told journalists that we have a fruitful deliberation. Both sides have made concessions. There are still some grey areas, but by the grace of God, everything will be resolved. The Labour delegation, led by Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Amaechi, said negotiation was still ongoing, adding that adjournment became necessary to address some grey areas. We will meet tomorrow. So far, there are signs of commitment, but we believe that government will need to shift ground in order to meet our demands, he said. Meanwhile, Ngige has asked the unions not to contemplate any action that may adversely affect the economy of the country. He said the threat by Labour to embark on industrial action would amount for forcing government's hand, which would not work. While receiving the leadership of the National Union of Local Government Employees in his office, Ngige said any national strike at this time would shut down the economy and further have a negative impact on Nigerians. Labour should not try to intimidate government by threatening industrial action, he said. The minister said the leadership of the organized labour should not misinform workers on what minimum wage consequential adjustment was all about, adding that the issue is clearly different from undertaking a wage structure review, which the federal government has already set up another committee to address. Speaking on why the government may not accede to the demand by the joint Nigerian Public Service Negotiating Council in approving 29% wage increase for workers on grade level 7 to 14 and 24% for those on grade level 15 to 17. The minister said the ratio of proposed recurrent expenditure to capital expenditure in the 2020 national budget is very discomforting. According to the minister, recurrent expenditure in the proposed budget for 2020 stands at 76%, while capital expenditures is 24%. He also put the amount budgeted to take care of the new minimum wage consequential adjustment for federal public service workers at 160 billion naira. However, as part of efforts to break the deadlock in the talk between the federal government and Labour, the House of Representatives has promised to intervene. The chairman House Committee on Labour and Productivity, Mr. Ali Mohammed, stated this during the inaugural section of the committee and a dialogue section with the leadership of the NLC and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. The chairman told committee members that the Labour leaders sent a letter informing the committee of their inability to honor the invitation. He added that the ongoing negotiation between the federal government and the organized labor made it impossible for the labor leaders to honor the invitation. Mohammed said the committee received a letter from the NLC asking them to reschedule the meeting for another day. He said that the intention of the committee was to meet with the leadership of organized labor to hear from them before meeting with Ngige, with a view to finding common ground and preventing a possible strike by workers. He therefore said, despite the meeting not holding, the committee would make effort to meet with all the stakeholders to address the issues in contention. So guys, thanks to all my viewers today. So what do you think about this federal government? They are making a new offer to the workers and they are trying to shift ground on their proposal for minimum wage consequential adjustment. And they are increasing it from 11% to 17% for workers on grade level 7 to 14, and also 6.5% to 12% for those level on a 15 and 17. So a lot of people made a comment about this. Somebody said this labor is very weak. They are APC labor union, not for workers. Workers should go to court and stop that deduction from their salaries for them because they are now working for government, not for them. So look at the cost of running government in this country, very high. I thought Buhari with his track record will face the high cost and luxury lifestyle of our politicians. How can you give somebody you pay more than $500,000 a salary, brand new cars and wardrobe allowance? You can imagine that. How can, as a government, you also borrow to satisfy a luxury life of people in governance? The whole world has seen us as most foolish countries in the whole world, which is true. They prefer to satisfy the politicians rather than satisfying the common Nigerian citizens. So look at the House of Representatives, supposed to be 67 members, and Senate 37, the same thing in the states. One from each local government and area council. Attorney General and Office of the Presidency should go for amendments of this particular aspect of our constitution immediately, not looking for what to increase that will affect the lives of Nigerians. And somebody said, may God punish them mercilessly. How many millions are the stupid federal governments paying senators? Now they want to negotiate with the laborers. May the wrath of God fall on Nigerians' enemy. That is someone's call. So guys, I believe this APC government is the worst government so far. And one thing they don't really want to do is that they don't want anybody to talk about the suffering we are passing through in this country. That is what they don't want. They don't want people to voice out. They don't want people to speak their mind about what they are experiencing in the country. But the government, they are really enjoying themselves. Look at the wardrobe allowance and everything they pay to them. So about it, people are really tired about it. But I'm sure something will change hands someday. Something will happen. There will be a change one day about this. And many people said that it is only the government of APC that is using every bad negative formula to suppress the masses' interest, which is true. They increase PMS price, saying no more subsidies, only to come back with payment of billions of subsidies in 2020 budget. And then they said, why can't this government restore this nation by slashing the salary of the president, the senators, members of House of Representatives, ministers, governors, commissioners, and give the workers what they need? After all, the ones mentioned are the ones embezzling our trillion budgets through allocations and contract. This group sponsors killing, kidnapping to intimidate the opposition to win election. Are they not ashamed of watching Nigerians suffering? And that is true. They spend huge amounts of money to get into the position. They hire killers. They hire people to get into this position. But instead of them to satisfy the need of Nigerian citizens, they don't do that. And they said Nigeria has no labor union at all. What this labor union don't know is that there is difference between minimum wages and living wages. You are asking for minimum wage amidst of poor road, no electricity, no single refinery is working that lead us to subsidy. 75% of our annual budget is going to the legislatives and executive arm of government. To mention few, that's just a few of it. And this NLC, they couldn't see anything bad in all this. You can imagine that. So when Nigerian labor were collecting 3,500 naira, their life is better compared to when they are collecting 18,500 naira. Because things are so expensive now. This 18,000 that we are talking about, there's nothing they can use it for. Everything is expensive in the country. So that's all this minimum wage will be at petty traders and others at advantage. So this federal government, they should really do something about this issue of minimum wage. And they said it's a failed government associated with death and destruction. This APC Buhari government has only death suffering, poverty, insecurity, joblessness to offer Nigerians. We have seen the change we all wished for this government. That is the only thing they can offer us in the government. They only offer us insecurity. They offer us joblessness. The young people of these days, they graduate without a job. So why do we have the government? Why do we have Buhari's government there? When people are suffering and they are there collecting huge amounts of money. As a senator, they are collecting huge amounts of money as being the House of Representatives, as a governor of the state. But we are suffering in the country. So what is the essence of Buhari's government? When Nigerian citizens, when common Nigerian citizens are suffering, what is their own essence? They are not of use to us. That's what I can say about it. Somebody said this Buhari is very wicked. They said this Buhari is very wicked. What is 30K that you cannot pay workers? How much is it compared to what they are collecting as being the president of the state? They should be able to pay workers at that amount. And they said shameful government. God will punish all of you in position to have resolved this issue. Labour, I perceived compromise on your side. I said that is just many people made a comment about this. People are tired of this suffering in the state. People are really tired of this. And the most annoying part of it is that Buhari is not doing anything about it. Buhari is making things worse every day. He's not making a positive impact. What they know is just their whole family and their self alone. That is just the only thing they know. I believe one day, God will just take charge of the country. God will just bring somebody that will make a change, that will make a positive change in the country. So I believe the Labour they should maintain their stand until they bridge the gap between the poor and hungry citizens of the nations. The Senate, the House of Representatives, they don't need this money. They don't need it at all. They should bring down the salaries of governors and all politicians and see if there will be trouble and killings in the country again. Of course, it's going to reduce so many atrocities. It's going to reduce so many evil atrocities in the country. It's going to do that. Or they should make the salaries like that of the civil servants. So guys, what do you think about this news? Kindly drop your comments below. Click on the subscription button and also press the bell icon to get updates whenever I upload videos.